Welcome to the Bedroom to Boardroom podcast with me, Noel Reeves, the podcast that's building a community for small and medium-sized businesses to help them on their journey from the bedroom to the boardroom. Today, I'm joined by Jordan Hepplestone from Code Sky Media. Jordan, welcome to the podcast.
No, thanks for having me. We're good.
That's all right. Jordan, so I've known you for a while now.
Yeah.
I wanted to get you in today because I know that you're you're involved in a couple of businesses, and I think you've probably got a good story to tell about your background, what your background is, and how you got into doing what you're doing. So, do you want to start off with that?
I run a web and digital marketing agency called Code Sky Media, and we focus on making businesses stand out online. So, taking people who don't necessarily have nothing or have a company but aren't doing enough to market it or demonstrate who they are or show themselves off enough. We generally build them a website or give them a digital marketing presence that will allow them to be found and hopefully grow their customer base.
So let's rewind from, so you've got Code Sky. How long has Code Sky been going for now?
Code Sky has been going since 2016 as a company that I own.
Okay.
Before that, I was actually working at Totemic in town. They're a debt management company,
Okay.
Financial.
They're quite big, right?
Yeah, a big financial company, various STEM offs, insurance, all sorts. But I started off as a programmer there when I was 16.
Okay.
Built on the side as just being how I am, ended up building a website for, at the time, would have been BMX City, which was cycle sports. When I was 19, no idea how to build it. Just picked up a web design book and decided this is what I'm going to do, and
So
I'm going to have a go at it.
That wasn't part of your role at
No,
Totemic, right?
no,
This was just on the side.
Yeah, I'd been programming for about 3 months and decided
Oh, wow.
that
Okay.
was a good enough stem for me to have a go at it.
Yeah, you're an expert now.
I was wrong. I was wrong, but I had a good go. Ended up building that, but then decided actually that the design element of it is probably more what I'm interested in over the programming element, which is what I was doing there. So I decided to push more into that route. Was at Totemic from 16, so while I was at college and higher education, working part-time, up until 22 or 23. But from 20 onwards, I actually owned Code Sky within Totemic.
Right.
So they essentially backed me to open it as an agency.
Okay. That was good of them.
Yeah, it was. It was. So yeah, they backed me to open it up as an agency. We started off there, and then eventually just worked out it didn't really fit into corporate structure. So ended up putting it out and starting as just myself and growing from there. And we've kind of gone strength from strength to there. There's now 9 of us and 4 over in the Philippines. And yeah, it's growing. I've actually just taken on a new starter today, as I was just explaining to these guys before, but here I am. So.
Well, thank you for taking that time out to come and talk to us. So what sort of businesses do you work with?
Absolutely anybody that we deem that we can give input to. Somebody comes along, if we're looking at it from a web design point of view, there is nobody we won't work with.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have preferred people. Some people are a damn sight easier to manage than others. If you take somebody in trade, for example, it's kind of a doddle. You know what you're doing, but then obviously you get some very technical businesses, probably similar to yourselves, who you have to learn about that customer first before you actually delve in and decide this is the right route to take.
Yeah.
Marketing wise, we will really only work with anybody that we deem that we can add value to. So if somebody comes along, for example, and wants to run pay-per-click to a sweet shop and clicks are costing 30p and a bag of sweets is costing 50, then we're not gonna run that, because we're not gonna give you any benefit and they're going to lose the money from it. So it really depends. We analyse everybody before we get them as a customer and see whether we are a good fit. If we are, great. If not, we'll point them in the direction of someone that may be.
Yeah. I guess you don't get to find out who the nightmare customers are until it's too late, right?
No.
I'm speaking about myself.
No,
situation.
Yours is honestly not bad. Yours isn't too bad. I mean, we've got, can't name names, but I think we have at least 3 builds in a minute that are a year into process. And it's not from a necessary prospect of they're a tough customer, but we're still waiting for content, or they've given us content and we filled it in, and then they're not happy with the content they've done, so they're redoing it. And it's just,
Yeah.
It's one of them, but that's not everybody. We get sometimes 10 builds a month, so that's a very small fraction. But
So what are the type of businesses that you see that you can add the most amount of value to?
Trade is a dead easy one, just because.
When you say trade, you talk about business to business.
No,
Or-
so
trade
yeah, so traders and
agencies.
trade people. So anybody. So you're looking at renewables.
Right.
You're
Okay.
looking at electricians,
Oh, I see.
things like
Right.
that.
Okay.
So
Right. Yeah. Trades. Yeah.
sectors like that. So tradespeople are generally a good fit because stereotypically people in that kind of area are taught to go in and do an apprenticeship in what they do.
Yeah.
They're not taught to market. They're not taught
Yeah.
to expose themselves. They're not
Yeah.
taught to worry about branding. And we can kind of go in and give them an eye opener on how
Yeah.
that can actually help them grow. You pick somebody based on their looks or based on their reviews and based on how they are as a company. So if we can help them stand out against the other trade people in town, then it's a bonus. So they're always a good solid customer for us. We have a good running with wealth management. We work with quite a few SJP customers. Again, through different various marketing channels, pay per click, LinkedIn Sales Navigator. There's a broad spectrum. I could probably name quite a few, but they're two standout ones for us.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So in terms of what Code Sky do, so you said teams of 9 people now.
Yeah.
You're running that. How have you found that building that team?
When you've got 3 or 4 of you, you want to take charge. And I probably still have an element of that now. Like I employ people in, but then not as much, but probably back then used to employ them in the guise of, well, I know how to do your job. You're just here to relieve me of doing my job. That's obviously not the case. You employ somebody because they're there to be better than you are at what you do.
That's the dream, right?
And that's it. And I'm slowly finding now that I can say, no, this is your aspect. This is your sector. You deal with that. You deal with these customers. But yeah, the transition to me doing everything to allowing the team to do things and letting me focus on growing the company has probably been the hardest part. But that's kind of come into play over the past year or so, maybe 2. I feel like we're getting under our belt. But yeah, every year brings something new, if I'm being honest, and it's good. I enjoy the change.
Yeah.
So it's good to go through it all. I'd always said before that 10 is the maximum, like UK staff members I'll go to.
Okay.
But now we're kind of tipping onto that. I'm like, no, that's not going to be the case. Not the way we're onboarding people at the minute. So it's
So where's that growth coming from?
web has ran for so long now that we have a drastic amount of web customers. So we actually have unmanaged over 300 web customers that we deal with month in, month out. Websites that we've built are 700-800 plus. So it's one of them things of, same with anybody, you do a good job and you're going to get word of mouth. I mean, this might sound really cliche, but for a marketing agency, luckily, touch wood, we have good reviews and we have good rapport with most of our customers, and people push us onto other people. So I actually don't need to advertise on anything at the minute. We run the odd email marketing and Sales Navigator campaign, but nothing strenuous from our end. We're generally taken up by word of mouth and people just wanting to use us for actually giving a service that's not, here you go, we've done it, off you go, type job. So we stick around for everybody. But yeah, we grew from web and then moved into marketing as it's a kind of natural progression for it. I've always done marketing, been into marketing, so it was fine for me. But obviously opening up a team now and growing the marketing team is one of our main priorities.
So what are the biggest challenges that you're facing at the moment then? So if the challenge isn't getting work in?
The challenge is, as we just said about staff, I guess, we're kind of trying to work out a ratio at the minute of how, let's say the new staff member we've got in today for a marketing assistant, based on Joe, we'd kind of got to say 25 of what we deem he can manage himself. I'm then going, well, actually, how many customers of what size? Because you have people that pay £300 a month, you have people that pay upwards of £2,000 a month. How many people of what size can one staff member handle for them to be comfortable and for us to know, well, actually, we probably now need to employ again, or we need to look down that road. So for me at the minute, the challenge probably is working out what resource we need for each section,
Yeah.
each sector. Web, web kind of is okay. Web gets by in a manner of, as I said, people say they want things done in a month. It's probably not going to be done in a month because
Yeah.
they're not going to be ready.
Yeah.
Things come in the way, so that staggers itself. We're okay for web. I think I've got a good process for web. But marketing wise, yeah, we're still maintaining when I need to employ again, what we need to do for that,
Yeah.
and just be ready with it.
Yeah. It's
I mean,
important to know that, right? Because
yeah, hugely.
especially if you want to scale, you need
Hugely.
to be aware of at what point you're going to start. It's no good saying, well, we think when we get to 50 clients, we're going to need 3 people.
Yeah.
But you get to 50 and you've only got 1.
Yeah, then
and you've not put that system in place to.
No, and then it gets throttled. Things become sloppy. Reports start being missed, and I don't want to work like that.
No.
I prefer everybody to come to us knowing that at the end of every month they're going to get a report. They're going to get and hear exactly what they want to hear, and know that we're actually here to service what they're doing. Not know that if they ring me, I'm going to ring them back in 5 days and try and fob them off again. So it's that's the biggest thing. You get taught to start a business, but you don't get taught how to scale a business, and scaling it is probably. In my opinion, harder than
most
harder
definitely
than starting a business.
Yeah, and I think that's the challenge that most businesses have. Like you start it because you're good at a job and you can service the market.
Yeah.
But actually running a business, dealing with systems, processes, HR, finance. Those are the things we just don't.
You don't get taught.
You don't get taught that.
No.
And that's why one of the reasons why I wanted to do this podcast is to kind of help people, because you might feel like, oh, I don't know how to do that. That's my fault. But actually, no one really knows. We all find out. We all go on a journey, and I think the more aware we're made of other people and what they've gone through and what they've done that's been good, then that's the whole point of this podcast, is to try and help people to get better. So from a digital marketing point of view, obviously you're handling. We're working together now on that. So, and that's exciting. We've never done any pay-per-click or anything like that before, so we're sort of starting out on that journey, and we've got our challenges with that. We're getting some good results, but what is it about? Is that the future, do you think, for lead gen, or is that what do you think of? Is Google, because it feels to me like Google's holding all the cards.
Your future for marketing determined on budget is the easiest probable way to put something. So obviously, if you're working with somebody that comes in with an astronomical budget, you've got far more scope to explore different avenues. So generally, you would twin pay-per-click with search engine optimization, for example, so that you are maintaining organic ranking and you're maintaining your paid ranking. Now, as you said, pay-per-click is fantastic and will always prop you up to get you more customers, but I could almost do myself out of something here, but how pay-per-click works is, if you start pay-per-click and you get good results from pay-per-click, you're probably not going to turn it off. is the problem. And then the problem there lies that you're then ultimately reliant on that one marketing revenue that you're having to feed in order to get results back from. Whereas if you're utilizing multiple options, so your LinkedIn Sales Navigator, your search engine optimization, social media, at least you've got a bit more diversity, which is good for like what you guys do. But some people can really get stuck in just a PPC trap. But it's, as I said, it's one of them. You're constrained by budget. But as natural of anything, you've got to spend money to make money in most scenarios, and that's just
and it takes a bit of time, right? How long do you think it takes realistically for sort of PPC campaigns?
Everything's different. So something like yours was a nightmare. yours took 3 months too long, if I'm being honest.
Why is that?
Because yours isn't such a simple market. So if you're looking at things, so let's say we go back to trade. At the minute, like renewable energy is hot. So solar, EV charging, things like that, they're all hot topics. So the amount of information going into Google about what people are searching, what they're being found with, is all just constantly being renewed in all different areas. So that could be within Lincolnshire, it could be within London, it could be within a big demographic. But with yours, obviously exhibitions is far more niche than being a tradesperson. So for us to drag out what key terms are correct and what's working relies on a lot more input and a lot more kind of challenge of seeing, well, has that worked? Has it not worked? And yeah, it's a lot more of a process to get yours right. When as Christ, we can run a pay-per-click for somebody in renewables as like going into that, and you'd be getting leads within 3 days. Some people we've had like yours, we've had. Let's take the mobility industry. We have a customer in the mobility industry that we do e-commerce for. They were similar part 3 months. So I spent the first month thinking, oh no, I'm not really sure how this one's going to go. And then all of a sudden, month 2 grew, month 3, off we go. So it really is dependent on the industry and what gets searched. And results, kind of why web and marketing go hand in hand with each other. Results hugely vary based on the location of where the ads are going to. So if you're pushing ads to a website that was built in 2012, has no contact forms on the page, has no phone numbers available, it is generally hard to get in contact with, then yeah, you're gonna get less leads. You're probably going to get a worse performance score. Whereas if we're running ads to something that is full of contact forms, has a good page fold, tells the customer what they're looking for, has live chat functionality, things like that, the conversion is going to go way up. You're going to get more leads for your money, and you're going to come out better for it. So,
do you find a lot of people that try and do it themselves?
Yeah, too many.
Because to me, I think with pay-per-click, I don't, I'm just not I'm not techie like that. So, and it's something that we've never done until recently. But I don't know it, but I understand that you do know it.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of holding onto you to say.
Yeah, look, this goes into a simple thing. I mean, we have cameras here. Just because I can hold up a camera and take a photo doesn't make me a photographer.
Yeah.
And it's the same. It's the same logic as that.
Yeah.
Just because something is there for you to try, it doesn't mean to do it. Obviously, Google is one of the richest companies in the world, and you get the trust from Google. But you can follow Google's advice, who have never sat down and spoke to you, have never explained how to use AdWords to you, have never explained what the campaign types are, and you can just go on and click it and go, oh, this will work. And it really won't. It's similar to how Facebook publish a boost post button. Well, what are you boosting to? You don't. They've just told you to do that, and you're just going to put £10 or £20 on or whatever it is and boost it. But you don't know where the logic's coming from, what you're boosting to, where you're going to get customers from it. It's marketing without any insight towards what you're going to get in return. And everything should be based on, if I'm spending this much, I need to obtain this much back. And if you're just doing it off free will, you're not going to find that out. How Google works, which they don't tell you, and this is why you can't really do it yourself unless you have some technical knowledge, they will give it based on conversion. So if you're not tracking your conversion, so let's say you're leading it to a website and the conversion is you need them to fill out a contact form. If you're not tracking the contact form to see when someone's filled it in, Google doesn't know that you've made a conversion. So it doesn't know that term that it's just got you a lead on is actually a converting term. So they're just rinse and repeating the same keywords day in, day out, which is giving you no benefit because your campaign's not growing and you're just spending money on it. So it's one of them of where, yes, you can do it yourself. Are you going to get good results? Probably not.
So just putting Code Sky to one side, you're also involved in another business as well.
Yes. Yeah. TyreOps. So back, one of our first jobs at Code Sky, luckily being in programming and knowing some good programmers, was actually to build a fleet management system for content for tyres. Big job. Kind of, if anything, probably set up Code Sky in a way, because it was, everybody has that one customer that pays a lot more than other customers and kind of floats your business. You shouldn't have, but when you're starting a business, that seems to always be the case. Well, we built it for Continental, and a lad I went to school with called Joe, who's the MD of TyreOps, was like, actually, this is illogical for what we're doing. Why don't we build this as an entity for everybody, not just for Continental? And that's how TyreOps was born. So TyreOps is a software as a service system that services fleet companies and fleet operators, tyre management companies and tyre companies. Well, now all over Europe. Actually, we have a customer in New Zealand, Australia. Let's just say worldwide. It's not that big yet, but we're growing.
Yeah.
Think of it how you guys would use, like, let's say HubSpot or something as a CRM. TyreOps is an overall encompassing ERP CRM system that allows a tyre business to use one app and one location in order to manage their whole firm. So, like somebody that you could take on board with as an example of what would be a customer for TyreOps would be in Grantham would be someone like Tanvic or Selector Tyre or somebody like that. But the reason we started that business is because, as I said about Continental, if you're a tyre inspector, that's one of the roles of who would use our system. Let's say you had Continental, you'd have to use one app for Continental. You'd then have to close that app down, load up another if it was Bridgestone, close it down, load up another if it was another tyre manufacturer. So we're about TyreOps to stop all of that multiple app and just allow everybody to do it all within one app.
Right.
Easy, report to the same reporting system and get the information they need. Let's say you're DHL, for example.
Okay.
DHL have lorries on the road all day, every day. And they're all generally carrying loads of goods of multiple thousands, probably hundreds of thousands each time. And TyreOps allows your business to have your tyres compliance, make sure the staff are running job sheets, make sure they're actually doing as they're meant to do to keep that lorry
safe,
in compliance and safe, and make sure that if anything does happen and somebody says, oh, well, actually, it's your fault that the tyre blew out and this load's gone. Well, no, we last checked our tyres last month.
Okay.
I know it's nothing to do with us, kind of thing. So it's compliancy. It's making sure that if you're somebody like the likes of Tanvic and you have somebody on the road being sent out to fit tyres, fix tyres, do whatever, that they've got job sheets and they can keep up to date with all of that. It stems the whole chain. So yeah, it's made for everybody within that industry.
And you mentioned that you were fundraising for that at the moment.
Yeah, we started back when we started this 4 years ago. We raised money to start the business.
Mm-hmm.
That was a bit easier because that was kind of angel level, and you don't really have to. You have to do a lot. Don't get me wrong. You have to explain who you are, what you're doing. You have to give a business case as to why it's a good idea to invest in you. It's not the same as when you're in the business and you're looking to scale up, because all of a sudden you then get to a point like us of where you've got this amazing software and we're getting people on. We're getting 5 to 10 customers a month kind of thing. It's not bad, but it's one of them of where we're going through investment rounds of where we can get somebody to say, actually, here's a sales team, here's some people to support your marketing efforts, which is then going to take it from onboarding 10 a month to onboarding 40, 50 a month and make the business grow quicker. But as with anything, it's proof of concept, showing reputation, showing who you are, making sure the investor feels comfortable in what they've done. You ultimately, as well as that, making sure that you want to work with the investor. I mean, personally for me, we want more of an investor that's probably more vested in the business,
right?
Not somebody that's just, oh, here's some money, off you go, because you very often find in that situation, then you've just got somebody breathing down your neck looking for returns, not genuinely interested in the business or coaching you as to where they would take it or what they can do to help it, kind of thing. So it's a toss up. It's one of them of where you'll get people, you'll prepare all your pitch decks, you'll prepare your key financials, everything, you'll get all of that done, and then you can get offers, and then you sit there and go, do I actually really want that one? Do I need the money enough now to decline them? It's a tough gig.
I've never done that myself, so I'm intrigued as to how that whole world works. We've got any advice for how people should go about that?
Yeah.
Definitely shouldn't do.
yeah. Don't assume people are just going to give you money for nothing. Is probably the better thing. Even now, to myself, the amount of people that we get called up for, and if I stand back to Coast Guy second in a way of people ring up, I've got this amazing idea. I'm like, have you? Do you want to elaborate? And then they'll just give you it on the back of a fag packet kind of thing. And I'm like, have you got a pitch deck? Can you explain this business? Have you got forecasts wrote down from year 1 to year 5? Is all this stuff prepped out? No, I haven't done that. Well, how can you expect somebody to invest in you if you're not willing to put in the time to actually get all of this down on paper and really sell yourself as to who you are and what you do? So it's one of those of, if you truly want to do something and you want to have somebody else involved in them, make them believe in it, make them see the value of what you add
Need
to
to
it,
show
what
them,
you know
right?
about it. Yeah, you've got
Yeah.
to really
They've got to feel
show
it.
that. Yeah, that's it. And
Yeah.
and if it's something, it doesn't even matter if it's something that's the same as what somebody else does. Explain how that you're planning on doing it is better, or in a different module to how someone else is doing it, and just really, as I said, make them feel it and make them actually want to work with you and believe in your business. So it's if you want to raise capital in any way, shape or form, you've got to be willing to put in the effort and explain all of that, and really be prepared to be on the phone and just make sure that you can get it across to them.
Does that take a long time?
Yeah.
When are you hoping to? How long's that process been for you for this round?
We've
Is this your second round?
Yeah, this is a second. We've luckily at the minute where one of the things we're missing on our software is we've got to make things quicker again for like the SaaS system we have. There's a hardware element that you could adopt to this. So one thing that tire fitters can do is they can have like a Bluetooth tire tread depth checker.
Yeah.
And we're just working with a hardware company at the minute who build that functionality and build a lot of hardware for the tire industry. They've got a good network. So this is at the minute we're on a good part of, we feel like we could potentially go down this route. They can offer growth and also offer us their network of customers that they have, because they need software, we need hardware, and vice versa. So we're stemming down that route at the minute. These things are never quick. They're never straightforward. Yeah. You're 6 months down the line before you start working on anything. Yeah. So never, if you are going to raise it, don't expect somebody to give you some money next week and say off you go, because it's not going to happen.
No.
You've got a little bit of a weight on your hands.
So what's your hopes and dreams for the future? You've just recently become a dad. A little while ago.
Yeah, that's a good part. I love being a dad. Yeah. Look, everything's just new. It's one of them of where how can I put it kind of thing. It 100% changes what you focus on, who you are, like what you do. Like before, I could have just gone, I'll get to work now and I'll come home and I'll do whatever work. I'll just get on with this, and I'd not focus on that. Whereas now I'm more like, I know at the minute I'm at work 9 till 5. I see my lad in the morning. I get home at 5 kind of thing, and I only get to see him till 6:30. So I'm just fixated now on, no, I want to do this, and on weekends, no, I want to spend time and do things. But it's fantastic. They change literally every single week, and I love that. It's good. It's just started walking, so.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
okay.
It's
that's early.
good.
How old is he?
Oh no, he's 16 months now, so
okay, right.
he might be a bit lazy in some people's eyes, but he's
they all do it at their own time.
Yeah, that's it.
So, and what about for the business then, long term, or what your hopes and dreams?
Code Sky's great. Obviously, Code Sky will stay with me for at least another 5 years. Yeah, it will do. I'll grow it to where it needs to go, but ultimately, I like to try other things and I like to do other things. Hence, having TyreOps and other ideas that are in the pipeline and will come out. But no, do I envisage myself doing the same thing through and through? Probably not. But I'm 31 at the minute. I've got a lot of time to do that. If anything, 20 to 31 kind of being in business teaches you a lot of things. You learn a lot of things. You progress with a lot of things. Am I at a stage probably yet where I should be thinking, I want to start buying into other business and doing that? Probably not. I can allocate myself a bit more time there. I'm honest with that. That's not, I know a lot of people think they're ready, but that's not the case. I'm still young in my eyes. I don't know what other people think about 31, but
yeah, very young.
But yeah, it won't. I like to try other things. I like a challenge, and I just like business in general. I like how every day is different. I like working with different people. I like meeting other people in similar scenarios that make me think, wow, I didn't look at it like that. That's the joy of doing what I do. You meet other people that.
Yeah, I'd say we have a similar thing. So working in exhibitions, our clients do all sorts of things. We focus on exhibitions, but our clients do range from food to beauty, pharmaceutical, all over. Yeah, and I find it fascinating to see all these different brands and businesses, and when they get acquired, or I see some go from tiny to rapid growth.
Yeah, it's wild.
It is wild. And I think that exposure to me has been really inspiring to see other people do so well
Massively.
and watching their journey and following them on social media. And I guess you must get to do that too with your clients because you're doing websites like we're doing exhibitions for a whole range of different businesses.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's such a good thing because, and we get it now. We get some customers where I build them a website and then I watch what goes through that website from the marketing, and I watch the returns of what's coming in, or I watch their operation about what they've done around that business, and I think, well, why did I not think of that? But obviously I was never going to think of it because it wasn't even my industry. But
you always come across so full of positive energy and like, almost like looking for the next thing or whatever. Is there anything that worries you?
Oh yeah, look, I mean, just being in business, having staff is a worry. I don't like. There's no monetary backing going on from my family or anything like that. So it's kind of like one of those of where you are the fallback. You're not like, there's not somebody going, oh, here's another 100 grand or here's another 200 grand. Like, so you have worries like that. But I just think as long as you're confident in yourself and you know that every decision you make is an informed decision, it's a calculated risk, don't get me wrong, but it's a decision that you trust in yourself, then yeah, it is what it is. I'm positive because there's too many things to do and to be positive about. It's not. I'm not. I don't sit around. If you ask my mum or dad or anybody, it's if I'm mad about something, I'm mad for about 2 minutes, or if that. I'm done with after that point. There's far worse things going.
To be angry or
no.
Upset.
There's far bigger things going on and far bigger problems, and mine are probably minute in comparison. So
and you like is everyone in your family like that? Do you think? Are you unique? Everyone positive?
No. They're all positive. And
just wondering where do you get that from? Is that a learned behaviour? Or is that just?
It's probably a learned behaviour. I mean, look, if you take my mum and dad, my mum would argue with you that 2 + 2 isn't 4. You don't argue with that woman. I just stay out of that now. I probably did before. You pick your battles there. So she's very strong-minded, and my dad is very work-orientated, but has done the same thing. He's been in the same industry. He's worked the same jobs, and will come home and sometimes it winds me up and tell me how stressed he is about work that week, and I'm like, you're not stressed. You're stressing yourself out, but you're not stressed from doing that. He would kill me if I said that, but if he heard me say that. But it's that. It's that. Yeah. My behaviours are a mixture of a long time of knowing what I did think was right to what's right now, and I wasn't like this before. If you ask anybody about how I was when I was younger, all I was bothered about was seeing how much I could buy from Asda for £2 and going out on a skateboard, and that stemmed up until I was about 16, 17. That's what I was bothered about. I say I don't know where this was stemmed into me, but I do know where this was stemmed into me. When I was at school, web design was just coming in as a thing. And I'm very much, if somebody tells me no, that's the wrong thing to do because I'm going to do it. And when I was doing IT, it was gauged in a way of, taught in a way of, web design's very new. You used Dreamweaver at the time, which was one of Adobe's first tools. But you'll never get into web design because it's too hard to get into. It's too specialist. Well, I'm gonna then go and do that. It's Was
that a teacher that said that?
Yeah. So this is what I mean. It
should be telling you the opposite.
Exactly, and that to me is, as I say, that's one of the things of where you get a lot from school, and you kind of realise actually that when you think of that kind of thing, that people go into how people are self-made or do things based on how they are, but the more you think about it, little things like that define who you are, and push you down the path of where you've gone now. Because I think about that, I'm like, if they didn't actually say that, would I have done well? I mean, I finished school and did an electrical apprenticeship for it must have been about 6 weeks. I hated it. So I didn't carry on with it. But it's just, you look at things like that and you're like, all these little things kind of push you to where you are and
Yeah.
put you to where you are now.
Yeah,
So yeah,
definitely.
it's thanks to whoever that guy was. I don't remember what teacher it was now,
Oh,
but
you should go and see him.
yeah, definitely.
Cool. Okay, well, it's really interesting to hear the story, mate, and I wish you all the best with
No, thank you
all
very
of your
much.
endeavours, and thanks very much for coming on.
No, it was good to come in. It was good to talk.
Cheers, buddy.
No problem.